Hey crafty friends, Kim from Stamping Imperfection. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have this set of designer series paper, or DSP it's called a lot of times. You'll hear people say that. It just means the double-sided pattern paper. This happens to be a package of 6 by 6 inch pattern paper. It's got these gorgeous images on one side. They're these beautiful watercolored images. I'm only like showing you a few here, but there's a bunch more in there too. I mean, they're gorgeous, absolutely stunning, and the backs are all like these pretty fall color, watercolor looks, which is really nice. So, you know, you get a lot of paper. You get 48 sheets of these, and there's 4 each of the designs, so you get a lot of different designs. This is called Splendid Autumn, and I have not used it yet. I definitely will be using it to create some fall layouts in my traveler's notebook and in my scrapbooks, my 12 by 12 pages. But today I just wanted to make a card with it. So I was, you know, looking through I have this little card recipe book. I've created these little cards using a bunch of scrap paper, and I have all the measurements here for each of the different layouts. And I picked a couple layouts that I thought I might like. I have this one here with the strips of paper, and it's got all of this in front of it, and I was thinking I just won't use the stuff in front of it, or I could do horizontal stripes. Like, I've got, you know, all of those done. I've got all these other ones I could use also, and so there's just a lot of possibilities. But the other thing I wanted to point out, because you might not have that, Stampin' Up has done something great too. They, in this year's annual catalog, and I actually ripped this page out because I wanted to make a photocopy of it. And on page 22, they've got these 20 little card sketches here. That was really nice. People have enjoyed those so much that when Stampin' Up came out with the Holiday Mini, they actually included a whole bunch more of these in here. I think there's another 16 or 20, how many? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another 20 here. And they even shared tag ideas. I love that they did this. So what I decided to do to make it easier to use those was to, let me see what I did with them here. So I photocopied the pictures and I just attached them, I photocopied them onto white cardstock, and then I just attached them to some blue cardstock that I just had sitting on the shelf, some scraps that were big enough. And now I've got these nice little resources handy, so I've got these ideas as well. And I'm excited about that. I think that's actually a really fun thing to have. So, and if you don't have a copy of the catalog, you can just go online. If you go to shopwithkim.net, you can browse the catalog from that site too. There's a link there that allows you to download the catalog, and then you can just browse through it. It's just lovely. You get all of the ideas and everything. So I think this is really fun, and I've seen people use these sketches for their scrapbook layouts as well. And I've used card sketches in the past to inspire scrapbook layouts, and I've used scrapbook sketches to inspire cards. So these can be used for, you know, lots of different projects, not just cards. So I picked one that I liked, and it's this one right here. It's the third one. Let me bring that up so you can actually see it. I really like the strips of paper, and it's very similar to one that I created for my little card recipe file set here, and I definitely want to do something similar to this because I've got some ribbon that I think will be really pretty with this paper, so I'm gonna do that. So I used one of these sheets, and I've already pre-cut some of my stuff here, so let me bring this out So I've got a piece of Cajun Craze that I'm starting with. I love this color. This is my favorite fall color. Every time fall gets here, I'm just so happy to be able to pull out the Cajun Craze. So I've cut this down. This is a half a sheet of cardstock. I cut it down to 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2. I used my Stampin' trimmer, which has a cutting blade and a score blade. So I love that. I'm just going to crease that a little bit so it lays flat. Then I pulled out this gold metallic specialty paper that I have in my stash, and I'm kind of trying to use this up just because I've had it for a really long time and I'm ready to move on from it. So I cut this down to 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to wait to attach this to the card. I'll put the card aside here. I also took one of those pieces of paper, the Designer Series paper, and again, this is the Splendid Autumn paper. So beautiful. And I cut it down. I have 3 strips that are 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. No, 5 inches. Okay, these are 1 inch by 5 inches. So now I want to start and just add some liquid glue. You can use whatever your favorite adhesive is. This one is definitely my favorite adhesive just because I feel like it goes so far. Like it really just stretches. Okay, and I want to put this sort of in the middle. I'm better at eyeballing middle than measuring it, so I'm going to try to do this pretty fast so I can still move things around. Okay, and then I'll put these other 2 pieces down. And I want to leave a little space between them because I like a little bit of gold sometimes in my fall cards. And I like a little bit of a natural element too, like a twine, a jute twine or a jute ribbon is always nice. And so I always think that's fun to do. I want to get these as straight as possible. And I want them to be spaced pretty evenly. So I'm going to hold it up so I can see if I did that. And it doesn't look too bad. Okay, I can always trim some off the edges if I want to, but I'm actually pretty happy with the amount of gold I have showing there. And I like that. Now I pulled out this ribbon. This is Blackberry Bliss in gold ribbon, and you can see there's Blackberry Bliss in that piece right there, and I think it's really beautiful. And this came with the Regal Winter collection, and I just loved it. I thought it was gorgeous. I'm going to cut a piece of this off, and I just need it to overlap a little bit. And I'm going to wrap it around this top piece, and when I do this I like to use glue dots. So I'll put a couple of glue dots on the end here. And I'll put a couple on the other end. You can use a liquid glue for this also. Early on, using glue dots on my ribbons like this just became a habit. So that's a good thing. And I'm going to add this like this. And I may still add a bow yet, a small bow there. So now I can actually attach this to the back. I don't put the liquid adhesive right to the edge of the cards because I don't love it when it squishes out, but I do want to get it close enough so that it will squish. It will squish close to the edges. Isn't that Cajun Craze pretty? And I feels like a mirror there. That Blackberry Bliss and gold ribbon is lovely. I like that the ribbon pulls the gold in with the tiny little details, so It kind of makes it more interesting. And let me see if I can actually create a little bow. So I've got a little bow I can add there. That piece will get saved and used in a traveler's notebook. I have 3 stamp sets that have sentiments that I love. First of all, I love the Just a Note. It's my favorite sentiment to put on a card, especially if I don't immediately have a purpose for the card, because I can use that for any occasion. Then I have this one, and I love With a Grateful Heart. I also love Autumn Teaches Us That Change Can Be Beautiful. I think that's gorgeous. And I love You're Simply the Best and Some Things Never Change. This is Caring Leaves, this is Autumn Leaves, and this is, I think I'm leaning toward Just a Note. Alright, so this is Simply Said, this stamp set. And I got these deckled circles, and I just got them. I thought they would be great for scrapbooking, but I mean, you get so many dies in this set that it's actually pretty amazing. And it looks like number 3 will work here. So I thought I might try using that. And I definitely want to use it on some Very Vanilla, because I think the Very Vanilla, not this piece of Very Vanilla though, that's the one I actually cut to use on the inside of the card. So I'm going to use this piece of Very Vanilla. And I could use Cajun Craze again for the ink. In fact, I think I will. I've been doing everything in Cajun Craze lately. So I just got this stamp set and just got the deckled circles, so of course I have to experiment with them a little bit. And I want to make sure I leave enough room to do this, so and I'm using my paper piercing mat. I love this mat. I feel like especially the first time I use a stamp set, I want to make sure I actually get the whole thing stamped and perfect. I love this little machine. It's so handy. I keep it right on a shelf directly next to me, and I have started using, let's see if these 2 work. Sometimes I have to experiment with which platform piece to use, and I'm going to cut this down a little bit so it fits better. I just want to make sure, again, that I get enough of it. Okay, and if we don't like this, we can always try one of the other sentiments with the other fonts. I am going to put a little piece of masking tape on there to hold that down. And I definitely want to pop this up on some dimensionals. So I've got some dimensionals here, and I'll put a couple of these up here, and I'm going to put one down here because I want to leave space for that ribbon to go underneath it. So this will pop it up just enough. Super easy card design. And I'm going to let that hang off just a little bit, just like that. And I'm going to add a glue dot or 2 to the back of my bow. Go. I'm just going to add this here, like that. Now you could add some bling if you wanted to, but I feel like with that metallic gold, specialty paper that I have there. I already have enough. Alright, so I've got this very vanilla piece. This is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, which is going to give me very little of the Cajun craze around the outside. I might trim this down a little. And I've got this stamp from the Caring Leaves stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this right down here like this, and then I'm going to just turn it a little bit and stamp it a second time. That's called stamping off or second generation stamping, and I love it. You can try to get a third there, but I didn't have too much ink left there. And it's supposed to stamp like that with lots of texture, so I especially love that stamp set. I think it's very pretty. Now let me try this out here before I decide whether I want to. Nope, I think that's perfect. I'm going to add some glue to the back of this. It's just peeking because I only cut this 1/8 inch smaller than the inside of the card, but I like to have a lot of room to write messages to my friends and family, so there we go. And I'll also decorate the envelope. Somewhere I have very vanilla envelopes that I can use, and I really like the way that came out. That is my card. Isn't it pretty? So pretty. That paper is gorgeous. It kind of just decorates itself. Alright, so that is that, friends. I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends. And if you aren't subscribed, I would love it if you subscribe. And click the bell to get notifications every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for Stampin' Up! Supplies, like if you'd like to purchase any of the supplies that I used today, you can find them at shopwithkim.net. That's my Stampin' Up! Store. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I hope you find time to be creative today, friends. Thanks for watching.